What's good, everybody? It's full-time trip. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0 at St. James Park. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Not good enough. Not good enough, bro. There's too many thoughts right now. Again, winless in 3 in the league. Just absolute crap displays nonstop. I'm shocked. Am I disgruntled? I don't know. I'm a lot of things right now. But we could potentially be 8 points adrift to the top of the league by the end of this weekend, and that's not good enough. That's just not good enough, bro. And we can't blame no refs today. You know what I'm saying? You can put whatever on those other 4 games out of the 7 or 8, whatever that were ailing us or whatever. You can do that on those other games. You can't do that today. Today was a day where we fielded a strong side, but there were no signs of consistent strength throughout that game. And I mean, the poise and the killer instinct and the will to attack and drive and be courageous in moments wasn't there. Just wasn't. Credit to Newcastle, man. Credit to Newcastle. I give it to them. Winless in 5, but of course y'all turn up against us because apparently we are storybook rivals. But still, yeah, Eddie Howe coached a great game. Another aggressive ass mid block that we just have no answers for in this team, which is just very annoying. What we do, but they're fucking injured. And it's not good enough. But Eddie Howe, again, but they stuck to a game plan. They were aggressive. They won every duel, and it was just easy for them. You know, it was easy. Just had to defend their little things and get their piece, control the ball in the outlets as much as they can, and maintain. And they played it to a T, man. Played it to a T. The only goal in the game was absolutely perfection. Anthony Gordon, probably man of the match. Honestly, the way he was just commanding the game, getting stuck on the ball, getting his defensive work in, top class. The cross, top class. The header, top class. Can't really stop that. No, not many defenses or keepers in the world can get to that. And from there, they just maintained. From there, it was just maintenance, man. And I'm tired of the word toothless becoming a common term for us in this season. But toothless again. The only people that were showing bite, only 2 really, was what's it called? Saka and Rice in some regards. And from a tactical standpoint, there was just so much that wasn't being accessed. You know, how we were breaking through Liverpool with central access, how we saw that play out. I saw none of that. And maybe some of it was, again, the right back situation, the fullback situation, and us not being available. But at some point, you got to get your foot on the ball and start to play with courage in these situations. From the midfield up, it just wasn't on. It just wasn't good. Like, defense is like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no qualms with the defense, because how can you defend that cross on the only goal? Everything is from a midfield and attacking context, not solely the players, but just how the team was organized and how we moved. Just wasn't courageous enough. Just wasn't there. Unfortunately, it feels like we're just folding into a shape, and the presence of Odegaard is a crater in this team. The missing presence of Odegaard is a crater in this team, and that's so unfortunate. This was, honestly, it was the worst. It's the amalgamation of so many bad things that could have went wrong. It's literally Arsenal's Murphy's Law at this point. Without Odegaard, again, today would have been the absolute difference. When I'm thinking about the Trossard pass in through to Saka, where Odegaard would have most likely been in that position. Thinking about the pressing, thinking about just breaking out in situations and driving with the ball a little bit more, understanding the shapes. You saw the downfalls of all the people who weren't Odegaard today. Again, Trossard just not involved with the play, sloppy touches, and again, he's a finisher, but outside of that, it's hard to justify. For me, it's hard to justify him being consistently starting 90 minutes, and him not being hooked at halftime was crazy to me personally. It's crazy. I get it. He's a player that can change moments in the drop of a dime. When the game is so physical and we're not even getting shots in the box, something has to change. And I think it starts with the people who are at least involved with moving the ball up the pitch. He is one of them. So there has to be some conversation there. Left-hand side in general just toothless. Just look toothless again. Again, Martinelli just didn't have any solutions. Every time I see him on a run, it's like he gives up on it midway. He doesn't even try to fight for it. He doesn't even try to take a touch on most of the time. When he does take a touch on, he overcooks it, to himself, and then just immediately gives it up because he knows he did wrong. Long term, I said this on Twitter like a few days ago. I don't know if anybody responded to it, whatever. I just shower thoughts. But long term, honestly, having a hard look, if he cannot curb the attacking woes and the lack of inventiveness and the lack of drive, the lack of bite that Saka has continued to develop on that side, I'm looking at different solutions, man. I'm looking at different solutions. I'm looking at competition at the very minimum. I'm looking at Rafael because we need someone else to generate a threat. Someone else to generate a threat and someone else to generate consistently just quality passes from the midfield. And that's just two different positions that right now are not being serviced. It's not being serviced. Marino didn't look on it either. And again, that whole left-hand side was just gone. I don't know, man. Every time I said this. I'm not gonna say the other point, but I said this. November, Christmas, April. If we get through these things as best we can, then we have more than a shot. Right now, we're going into this form with Bournemouth as an extension into this. We're going into another winless 3-game run. Another winless 3-game run, dropping points all over the place. We're 8 points behind City. It's just like, at some point you gotta hold your hand up and say, listen, there are some things that are down to, PGMOL and all the other stuff like that. I get it. I understand. I'm mad at them still. But today you have to look at the team. The team were not good enough. Arteta tactically didn't have enough proactivity, and his over-reliance to manage minimally is a little bit tougher. But it's a catch-22, in certain situations. But some of the blame does have to go to him for how languid we were. Maybe Havertz not being in the central, pushing the back line and testing the back line played into things today. The midfield, how we have no central passers that are consistent. Again, I think Partey moving up to midfield moved some things around, but he was playing right back most of the time. So it's like, where do you go? I just know it's not good enough, and there has to be more proactivity. There has to be more courage. There has to be more courage instilled in this team. And maybe Odegaard was that spark that helped push that on. As many people like to slate him and rate the 22-23 season, a lot of the reason that we were flying is because Odegaard was at the heart of all of that, making things happen. So pick one. There's a lot of people on Twitter just going off about Odegaard. They've taken a point where they're saying the team probably shouldn't have been too reliant on Odegaard, but at the same time they're rating the 22-23 season. Like they're going over the actual point of the argument, and they're saying, oh yeah, nah, we shouldn't need Odegaard in the first place. No, we need that guy. We need that guy. Long-term squad planning, that is another thing entirely. But while we're here, he is the one that makes this tick. He's the one that makes this tick. Saka's the one that makes things bite. That's really the beginning and end of it. Honestly, that's it. Saka's the moment taker. Odegaard, less over moment taker, but more of the tempo. He's a Steve Nash of this team. He sets everything. And the fact that his presence has been missed on all phases is just apparent at this point. Again, the worst combination of elements have come at the worst possible time, because we have Inter next week. And then we have Chelsea in a derby where, again, we're basically in a battle for top four right now. And it's not where we want to be. Taper it off, man. And I think a lot of that has come down to, obviously, outside of the injuries, today was tactical. Today was mental. There is no skill issue with this team. There is trust issues to a certain extent, and there's will issues. That's what I'll say. Not consistently, but on days where, again, it may be a little bit more difficult. There needs to be will to be courageous. There needs to be will to be ruthless, to be forward, to show something. We didn't look to show any of that for almost the whole 90 minutes, bar a couple of sparks from Saka and Rice. I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough one to take, to be real. This is a tough loss to take. I'll be honest. I woke up dead ass at 8:02 and I'm just like, oh, my body just feels weird. My spirit is off, and I'm just like, hopefully they'll lift my spirits. They have let it down further than the journey to the center of the earth. It's nasty work, but yeah, there needs to be inquest, man. There needs to be inquest. Like, it's just so many things that to answer again. And when Ari came on, he had a good couple spells, but then just understanding the passing patterns and just being a little bit more tidy in certain moments just wasn't there. And that's just down to some inexperience of being, around the team and in those situations where it's a deeper block, it's a game that we're trailing, it's a little bit more zip in the pass, a little bit more urgency behind the ball. Can you corral it? Can you find yourself in good spacing and help the team? And in pockets there was, but in pockets there wasn't. And again, just missing the presence of Odegaard and dealing with the inexperience issues and just the lack of form in the team, But that's it. That's really all I gotta say, man. Like, they outplayed us. We played ourselves, and I don't know how much we have to play for in terms of the league after this point. And that's the hardest truth. City already have the KDB and all them, man. Savinho didn't even get injured. He's on the bench again. Liverpool are flying at the moment, but they may have some harder fixtures when it comes to the Christmas period, so we'll see where they stand. But I'm looking at City. City are 8 points. 8 points gone. And it'll probably be more, or likely 8 points at the end of this thing, or 7 points, whatever the hell it is. That's where we gotta be. And we've just been hit with a combination of the worst luck, but also we have to point at ourselves and say, where is the courage? Where is the will? Where's the bite? Where's the bite? Not even just the will, the bite. That's all I got, man. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I'm gonna keep it pushing. We got Inter in the midweek because Inter. That's gonna be a fun one. Anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. That is all the time I got, but it's been full-time trip, and we will see you later. See you, YG.